Okay, welcome everybody. It's great to have you all here. I hope you've been enjoying the site so far. It's been really inspirational for me to kind of see all the work that you're doing, and it's been kind of really getting me going in photography as well. I know it's kind of a crazy time with the pandemic and stuff, so I've been really enjoying seeing what you've all been doing. Let me share my screen real quick, and I just want to I know you guys all watched like the initial video, but like it's been really good to see how you guys have been using the website. So I want to just show kind of what I've figured out, I think, and we can all talk about that, about, how the website works and everything and kind of the best way to use it. So the first thing is, here's, the main homepage that we've all looked at. You can see, I'll put kind of major things in blue here, and I've been writing, once a week, just to make sure everyone sees that, kind of post with links and different thoughts and stuff like that. The main thing though is, up here, say what's in the mainstream, there's like no reason to post there at all, because if you post here, it's going to show up to anyone who happens to be friends, with you on the site, but it's not going to show up to your group members or anything like that. So, pretty much I'll be posting there because, I want the stuff that I post to be seen by everyone. I'll be friends with everyone, so it'll kind of show up on your feed there. But if you post something here, it's not going to be seen by as many people. So what you want to do is you want to end up doing most of your posting in the groups. The groups, you can, I'll go back to the stream. This main homepage is a great place to just kind of go through and see all the work that people are posting, anything posted to groups, and, anything that people post to their personal, profile photos, you'll see, and everything like that. So that's kind of a great place to just kind of see what's going on. But in general, posting, you're going to want to do most of the stuff in the actual group itself. So, just to make sure, let's, click on Levit. So there's two ways to post, which we spoke about, but I just want to make sure everyone's there. You can either, post right in the stream here, which I know I mentioned to do more in albums, but I think, there's two ways to do it, and you can do it either way you feel. The main thing to make sure is that everyone goes to photos, and I think half of you have probably done this for each group, goes to create album, and just make an album based on your name. So if you look here in the albums that are created, you've got Jennifer, Rob, and then, so the good thing about this is that it's just going to keep a record of all of the work that you've done. So if anyone wants to look through, if, I want to look through, you can really kind of click on this and you can just see the stream of everything that's being done. It's great to keep it in one place. Now, what's going to, and then, but also sometimes, I don't want to be so strict about it. It's not like you don't have to post there. If there's some things like, some people for the dreamlike challenge, maybe they don't want, you don't want those images to be in that group of photos. So you just want to post them directly to the stream. The only thing is that, those photos will probably get lost a little bit more over time. Like you won't be able to find them as easily. So just consider that. But you can do either. Those are great things to do. Now let me just show you real quick. Let me go back to groups. And this is my test group right here. So when you post to the album photos here, I just want to show you something real quick. I'm just going to add a photo real quick to one of my test albums. So click on the album. I'm going to go add photo, upload a photo. Let's just upload that one. Right. Add photos to album. And so what that's going to do is it's going to post it to the group stream and the main stream for everyone who's, in your group. But the thing that you can do here is, it's going to show the new photo, but it's also going to show the whole stream of all the photos in the album. So people can kind of, they missed your previous work, they can kind of see it, which is great. But you can click on edit post here. You just go right to the stream, click on edit post, and then you can type, added, a new night photo. And then that'll be the way to every time you post, if you want to add a comment. The thing to keep in mind is that this comment's going to stick with the album. So if you add more photos to the album, this comment's going to stay there for the next post as well. So you have to go back and just change it each time, or you can leave it. It's up to you. But that's a good way to kind of keep the keep comments that you want there. And it's also, keeping stuff in the albums as well. You'll save all the comments people leave over time and stuff. It's a great way to just kind of keep all your stuff together. And I know I mentioned in the previous video, there were like some errors with the photos and the commenting and all that stuff. That's all been fixed as of like this morning. So they did a big update. And so some of the old photos that are posted like previously might have a couple of issues with commenting and stuff, but anything from now on should be all good. There shouldn't be any issues with the photos. The other thing is, like, some people have been, posting, you see on the right here, you see photos. When you click on this is your personal profile photos. This is not through the group. So if you have an album in here, like this is my profile here. If you post things, this is where I'm posting my stuff because I'm friends with everyone and I'm not in each group. So that's the way everyone's going to see. But if you post here, not as many people are going to see these photos. So you should mainly post your new stuff in groups for people to see. But this is a great place to create, like, over time, as you're getting your projects together, to put the photos in different projects. So, I have my 2 projects here that I put in there. And the thing is that when you post in here, not as many people will see the photos. But what you can do over time is, as you get those projects together, is you can, click on the album. You can copy up here the album. You could go to your group. And then you can just paste the album into the stream, and you can say, hey, everyone, I've been working on this album. I think I got it pretty tight. Like, check it out. So that's a great way to share the album as well. And it's also good to have that, like, for like portfolio reviews and things as you get your work together. But just keep in mind that people aren't going to see it as much as the stuff you post in the group. We have the beta groups are all filled up. There are some members that are still, kind of getting started, who haven't kind of posted yet and stuff, and they're a little busy, but they're all filled up. So if you go to, it's probably a good time to, go to members, and you can kind of friend all the members that you haven't friended in the groups. You may want to, just because these are the 2 beta groups, you may want to just friend everyone for now. I wouldn't go further than that, because, as we start adding more groups, it might be more people. And then eventually, as we add more groups, you can also, for anyone, like, you can go to the world map eventually and see if there's people near you. You can always friend them too. So hopefully, as there's more people, we can kind of get kind of subgroups of people who live near each other, which would be pretty cool. The other thing is, we can talk about this, but I think we're going to delete the travel lounge and just allow people to post travel photos and stuff in the main groups, because it's gonna clog up the feed. And as I'm slowly, as we add a few more groups and stuff, it's just gonna kind of muddle things up and take away from the focus on the groups. So, feel free to post travel images, whatever you want. We're not, in the groups themselves, but I think it's going to make the site work a little bit better to get rid of that travel lounge. And then, so that's it for the site, for kind of what I want to talk about. I'd love to ask for anyone who feels like it, I'll put up a kind of a post about it, but if anyone has any like testimonials, about how you feel about it, in the new year, I'm going to start kind of promoting it slowly to open up a few more groups and stuff. So having, your thoughts and stuff like that would help with that. And of course, if you have any, friends or recommendations to people who you think would be good for this, definitely let me know. So yeah, that's it for the site. I actually want to show you, I had this video, Ryan, who actually just joined the group as well. He was the last beta member. He just made this little promo video.
James, the audio isn't coming through.
Did everyone see that? Did that work? Yep. So I thought that was pretty cool. He made that video. And then, yeah, so let me go back to stop the sharing. Okay. Oh, there's a few people I have to admit. Sorry. Hey, we just got Jennifer Vin and I forgot who else I just let in. Sorry, you guys missed the intro, talking about the website itself, but I will, I'll share the video so you can watch the beginning. It was only about, 10 minutes. So let me, I'm gonna unmute everybody. So how's everybody? Have people been shooting? I mean, let me. So does anyone, we can just kind of, go around, feel free to speak up. Does anyone have any questions about the site, have any thoughts, how I'm doing, things like that?
So James, what do you think of a hashtag for Instagram and so on? Hashtag close to home or something?
You could definitely do that. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. What I can also do is I can send around, or we can figure out Instagram things if people want to follow each other as well within the groups. Yeah. So, I mean, does anyone has anyone had any problems with the website at all that they want to talk about at all? Does it seem to be pretty intuitive?
Just one question. So how do you feel about posting the same picture twice up there? So if I put it in my group album with my name on it, but then I would put it in say if I was doing a project, I would put it in a second time over under my photos. That's what you're thinking?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, it depends, you could do it at the same time if you want, or you could just kind of, save it all, maybe do like when you have 10 images, put them all together in your profile.
Got it.
It's up to you. I mean, I don't think it'll be too much of a problem doing that.
Okay.
Yep.
If you add photos to a group, do they show up automatically in your profile? Pick photos?
In your profile? No, if you add a photo to your group album, it's going to be separate from your profile photos. From anything in your profile. Yeah, it's going to be completely different place. Yep.
I think I had some that looked like they were double, but I didn't mean to do double. So.
Yeah, that was my question.
It might show up, it might show up in your all the photos that I've added or something, but it won't. I don't know if it'll it won't pop up on your profile. I don't think. Yeah.
Where am I?
I have one other thing, James. When
yep.
I added photos in the very beginning to my profile before I really understood in the albums and stuff. Is there a way to get photos from your profile into an album?
Just to re-put them in.
Okay, yeah. There's not any. Okay.
Yeah, you just have to. Yeah, so you can just delete them. I mean, you can right click on the image and bring it into a new tab to just bring it to your hard drive, so you don't have to export it again and then just re-upload it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's no transfer way. You just get rid of it and put it in the album. Okay.
No, nothing. Yeah, no transfer. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I didn't look too carefully.
There have been some little things that I've missed along the way. Could you just go over again, putting in a comment when you're posting something into the group stream? That's something I've kind of missed. I think I've been doing it in a way that it doesn't kind of pair them up.
You mean putting in adding a comment to?
I want to post a photo tomorrow in the groups.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Let me hang on one second. I'm just going to share my screen one more time. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, here's the screen. So if you're in groups, now I'm just going to show the test one that I did. So I went to photos. I went to my album in the group, and then I clicked on the test album. And and someone's got feedback. I'm just gonna, hold on. And actually, hang on one second. Let me zoom, and I'll do that in a second. So then you add the photo, and then after you add the photo, you go click on stream right here, and the post is going to show up here with whatever comment was there previously. And then so you click on the right here and you click edit post, and then you just type in a new comment and it'll show up
Okay,
there.
so the previous thing from the previous ad stays there, but you type over that and then it gets attached to it. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah, you can type over it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna mute everyone just one more time, just because there's someone that's feedback. So just unmute yourself before you talk again. Yeah, so that's how you do it. Or you can leave the comment up if you want, but yeah, that's how it'll show. Anybody else have?
James, I'm wondering if he's also asking about the way some people put a caption with photos, which is very helpful. So you see the photo, and then when you go click on it, you see their comment about what was going on, what they were intending. Those captions, that's a nice feature.
Yeah, so that's, let me share again. So yeah, what people have been doing, which is awesome, is, after you add this, after I, post, a lot of people have been clicking on the photo and then just, writing a comment about the image. You definitely don't have to do this, of course, but it has been really nice to see people's thoughts, about what they've been doing and stuff. And it's a great way just to kind of get to know what people are thinking, for sure. And also I wanted to just real quick before we go, I wanted to show a couple people's work real quick. So I love what Larry's doing here. Larry's been photographing Albany and I can't wait to see more of it. But there's been a lot of fantastic work that I've seen. So I'm just kind of showing a few people's things, but I just love kind of the mix of, even in the winter in Albany and pandemic, he got a great portrait, just capturing, fantastic variety of backgrounds of the area. And it just really, his work kind of is, showing what his area looks like. So I kind of wanted to just, highlight the variety of that, kind of makes me excited to see more. Yeah. And his dreamlike photo. And then I love this post from Rob that I wanted to show, similar. Kind of a really nice mixture of different things. I know some of you like to photograph people, some of you don't. It's winter, it's hard to photograph people. We're gonna, as it gets warmer and things and the pandemic starts to wane, we'll do more and more about people and stuff for those who want to do it. But definitely it's still possible to get portraits and things like that. Harder, but it's still a good thing to try to do. And Emily too has been posting some fantastic images. I love this one. I love the kind of dreamlike feel she's been, the kind of treatment to all these photos. So I just wanted to show these. All right, let me go back to stop the sharing. So have people been feeling motivated to get out and shoot at all? Is anyone having trouble with that? No.
Oh, can you hear me, James?
Yep, I can hear you. Yep.
Oh, I finally got connected.
You did, okay.
Did you do an introductory thing already, or?
I did not do an introductory, just there's a whole bunch of people, so I didn't want to, but
Okay.
yeah, no, anyone who wants to, I know Jennifer, you're from the Bronx.
I'm from the Bronx, yes. And thank you for mentioning about the motivation, because with the cold weather, I walk fast, I get to where I gotta go, and I haven't been like stopping lately to take photos. But I just wanted to also mention that I took a photo of a young couple, and I asked their permission first. And I was surprised, they were very willing. I said, "Oh, I joined the photo club and I'm photographing people from the neighborhood," and they were very willing. And but just moving forward, is there like a protocol for that? Like, because I take pictures of sometimes people from the back, so they don't know that I took their
Yeah.
photo, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
So I'm like a little sneaky, like,
Mhm.
or I do it from an angle and they don't know. But
Yeah.
is it like to walk up to people? That's typically not the way I do
Mhm.
things, but there's a lot of interesting people that I see in my neighborhood that I potentially could just approach.
For
Is
sure.
that something? What do you think about
So
that?
so there's a lot of different ways to do it. And if you look on the in the inspiration tab on
Okay, thank
the
you.
website, there's a video about an introduction to street photography, which talks about everything, it'll give you a
Right.
lot of details, but
Mhm.
you can do this, any way you want. I do it a mixture. I do it candidly and I do portraits and I ask a lot. And I even more so now that, with the pandemic and, kind of capturing people candidly is a little it's even tougher these days. So I do a little bit more portraits now and asking people and stopping people than I would previously. I still do candids as well. You're allowed to do candids. It's great to do it, as politely as possible.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's it really depends on how you feel. There's a lot of great street photographers who just do kind of backgrounds and portraits and they don't do candids. And there's a lot of ones that never do portraits and they just do candids. So I mean, the sky's kind of the limit with how you feel. Just do it like what you feel is right,
Yeah.
for sure.
Exactly. You can get a sense. I talk to a lot of strangers. You can
Mhm.
kind of get a sense if someone's willing or
Yeah.
uncomfortable, and you just go about
Mhm.
your business. I mean, it just depends. But my idea is like, oh, posting it, is that like legal? Is there a
Mhm.
copyright? Is there some kind of
Oh yeah.
protocol for that?
Oh
No?
yeah, it's legal. Yeah, it's in the U.S. particularly.
Okay. Thank
It's
you.
legal to post it. You can't use it for um, you can't use it to sell a product or like
Got it.
advertising, but you can use it for any artistic purposes for
Thank
sure, and you
you.
can post it. Yep. And the other thing I want to mention for the website is just to not post other people's work on the website themselves. Like don't one thing I would love to do, of course, is just like have everyone, we'll do some things like find some inspiration from other photographers, but I'd love, people to be able to post that on the site themselves, but that's taking someone else's work
Okay.
and putting it. So just to make sure just to post your own work and
Oh,
we can
yeah,
link it.
definitely.
We can link out to other people's work that we like and stuff like that, but just to keep that off of the site.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
James, I have an article that on my website that Rachel Branke wrote about
Mhm.
the legalities of sharing photos of random people on the street. Do you want me to share that link?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
Thanks. And those of you that don't know Scott, he's helping out with the site, especially as it gets bigger. He's going to help out more. But he's got a wonderful YouTube channel and a lot of awesome just photography content that he shares. So I'll share his stuff too. He's a great person to kind of follow for all this stuff.
Thanks.
Yep. So yeah, and also someone else, I didn't share her work, but I see Vin here. If you've seen Vin's work, hi Vin. She's in a similar boat with me with the pandemic kids and trying to find time to photograph, and she's doing an amazing job, like focusing on her like kind of like family, and it's been inspirational for me too, because I have to do my kid's just absolute a nut job right now. He's like almost 3, and so I'm doing it more and more, but it's been great inspiration. So for anyone that like, is, interested in photographing kind of your like, not just outside and getting out, but your own kind of world, Vin has been I'm excited to, for her to post more of her work and stuff like that. So does does anyone else have any kind of opinions about the website and how I'm doing or any thoughts, anything like that?
I love the website. I'm super inspired by it. One of my questions is, what is the specific difference and goal between posting albums on your individual page and posting albums on your individual photo album on the group page?
Yeah. So the difference is, I mean, the posting your photo to your actual profile is going to be more for like, that's where you want to like really put together an idea of your work, project, something like that. And so that's something that, when you post it there, less people are going to see. When you post something to your group, like everyone in your group is going to see the work immediately. So when you're sharing work that you want people to comment on and see and stuff that you're working on in the moment, you're mostly going to want to post in your group. But then you'll want to go into your profile and as you have an idea for a project or, a set of work, that's a great place to build that. And then that'll be a good place for, when you have something that's, cohesive and tight and you want to share it all together with the group, you can then post that link into the group itself. Or, if I want to look through and, do a review of, a tight edit of work, that's going to be a great place to see it there. So it's a good place to divide the work. But, in general, when you're, in stream of consciousness shooting and, figuring out what you're doing, most of the photos should definitely go in the group. Yep. Lisa, yep.
Let me follow up on that question. I had the same kind of question, Robin, for asking that. If we've got in any album, but let's say the album posted in our group, and it's getting, honestly, I've been so inspired to go out. I could post 10 pictures a week, 10 photos a week. It's just ridiculous. So kind of pull it down and find 2 or 3. And then it's getting to the point now already where I feel like I need to delete photos from the album.
That's totally fine. Yeah.
I don't like losing the comments people have made.
Yeah.
When I delete it. So
thank you. I was thinking the same thing.
Can you move them to another album?
Yeah, there's no way to move anything in this, just the developers and stuff. So it's kind of like, it's a tough dilemma. Yeah. Either, you delete it and delete the comments, or, you keep it around. So yeah, that's a tough dilemma. Yeah, I don't necessarily have, the right answer to that besides, copying them and saving them into a Word document or something.
And I'm absorbing them and thinking about them, and that's one of the things I've appreciated about the group. People have been helpful and raising good questions sometimes, instead of just that's a great photo. It's what if you looked at it from this angle or the other angle, which is very helpful and I appreciate.
Definitely. And yes, and on that note, I encourage everyone, even if you're too busy to, get out and shoot, and stuff like that, definitely, keep checking in on the site and, do your best to comment whenever you can. I know everyone's busy and stuff, but, it's really helpful. And, in mixture of, how to, do, what you think someone might be do better in a photo, as Emily said, and then also just, it's good to tell people, which ones are your favorites and which ones, maybe, don't do it for you as much. It's good to give, don't take everyone's comments as verbatim for how you should feel about your own work, but it is really good to see long-term what photos people respond to the most. I think that's a really helpful thing to just help focus you in on what works and what message is getting through to other people.
So in our group, we'll always just have one album.
Yeah.
That'll come up. Yeah. So I really enjoy street photography and I do a lot of it, but I also do some things that are, as you noticed, with close-ups that are very, very different, abstract close-ups, and they don't really fit together. So I'm wondering if I should just mix them all in that same group album or
That's
what?
actually a good idea. Yeah. So let's, why don't we say that, if you want, you can create 2 albums for sure. I wouldn't go more than 2 because then the whole thing will get crazy. But yeah, if there's, if you have like I wouldn't say it'd be great, right for everybody, but if you have 2 completely divergent types of work, maybe someone's photographing the outside world and their home family life at the same time, they do 2 albums for that as well. But yeah, you can definitely do that. That's good. So anybody else? I see Lisa's hand. Hey, Lisa.
Hi, everyone. Great to virtually meet everyone. So question about, so we have access to seeing the albums of our group members, but so does that mean, for example, the work members in another group, we wouldn't necessarily have access to because it's only shared within the context of that group?
Yeah, so well, in general, yes. So basically, just because otherwise it's going to get too crazy, like, just too many people. What actually, one thing I should have, I'm going to share my screen one more time and just show you, go back here. So right here, I set it so it's automatically every time you go to your main screen, you're only viewing followed content, which means contents from your group or anyone that you're friends with. But what you can do is click on following, and you can show posts from the entire community. And what that'll do is that will show work from all the different groups. So if you want to see, this is kind of the test group that I did. So most people wouldn't see it. Nobody would see that, but now you see that. And so the thing with that is that, like I said, it so it doesn't get, ultimately this will, get kind of cluttered with a lot of stuff. So it just defaults every time. If I refresh the page, it's going to default back to following. So you can check it out. You can just click it once and check it out. But then keep in mind the next time it's going to go right back to following. So it'll keep your stream clear, but you do have the access to see what everybody is doing for sure.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. And thanks for bringing that up. I forgot to talk about that. Okay.
James, I've noticed that when I go into the site, and there may say there are 4 or 5 comments, but frequently when I get in there, 2 or 3 of them might be the same comment. Has that been straightened out or?
I think that has been straightened out. Yeah, there's a few times where what I did was when we started, when I started this up, I commissioned this website is based on WordPress and this, great social kind of plugin that you customize and stuff. I commissioned them to kind of fix their whole photo system because it wasn't as good as it should be. And the last update, I believe, was this morning. And so the commenting thing, it was apparently a big change that they had to do. And so there's definitely a lot of screw ups. And so for older photos that have been posted to this point up till today, there may still be issues with that. Hopefully there are going forward, it's all good. But if there's anyone has any issues with notifications or comments or it messing up, definitely please let me know because I've been kind of testing it for them.
But virtually any kind of comment that has something to do with you or someone you're following or what have you, all of those links are showing up through that indicator. Is that right?
Yep, all of them should definitely be showing up for the indicator and linking directly to the photograph now. Yeah. Originally, they just linked to the overall post. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey, Jim, I'm kind of curious. One of the things I've been doing this year, rather than getting out and shooting a lot, is looking over old photos over the last 5 years and kind of thinking about projects and groups.
Definitely.
Grouping. So I'm curious if anybody else is doing that and what you think about kind of as a starting point for potential project ideas.
That's an awesome thing to do. And yeah, it's, and you should definitely share it as, you can share it within your group as if you're, as you don't have to put it in your profile, you can share it, in your group as if you've been shooting too. Of course, keep it, at a time, it's probably good to share, 3 to 5 photos at a time so people can give them their proper attention. But I know it's also winter and it's, some people, are great at shooting at winter. Some people have a harder time. I know there's some people who just want to share their older work and go through it and see how people feel about it. That's an awesome thing that everyone should be doing if they feel like it. Yeah. Is anybody else, thinking about going through old photos?
Definitely. Sure.
Awesome. Yeah.
But I was going to ask, go ahead.
I got the sense that we weren't supposed to use anything that was old, that it was in some of your notes. I thought I'd said that everything was supposed, please don't use old photos.
No, I think, yeah, I mean, I may have said that originally, but I think you can use old photo. I think, this is about, figuring out what you're shooting. I mean, I don't want people to stop shooting and just, share old photos, of course. I want, I'd love it to be a mix, but it's, this is all about kind of finding your voice. And I know a lot of people have been shooting for a long time, and I'd love to see their work. I've
Because
been,
there's just been times when, like for Dreamlight, that it was stressful for me to kind of think, because I thought, well, I have some things from the past, but to get out there, I don't know if I could get out, and then it was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think like, for challenges, I mean, you could, I mean, we're not being strict here. If you have an old photo, that's perfect for Dreamlight, definitely share it. But, for challenges themselves, I think one of the things is just to get people to kind of get out there and do more too. So I'd like for the challenges, maybe a little bit more so trying to actually shoot and think of more work, but it's not like, set in stone. You got a great Dreamlight photo you want to share, like, please go for it and inspire everybody else. But yeah, this place is for sharing old photos and new photos, and just really find your voice. Yeah.
So if it's 20 below in New York, you don't feel like you have to go out there.
No. I'm still going to be, annoying you all to get out there. But yeah, it's, I know the next 3 months is, for a lot of us is a little bit tougher. Especially for me, it's, I've been, putting the kid to bed or passing him off to my wife at 6. And now it's like, pitch black at night. So I've been walking and photographing at night, but it's as I say, in the winter, it's amazing it's the best time to really pick the perfect light when, like, sunset or, and so it's kind of annoying that I right now don't have the opportunity to get out during that time, but do what you can.
Hey, Jim, could you remind us how often you're planning to put out challenges?
So maybe every month or two. Yeah, something like that. Like the winter time will be different from the spring. I think, I might do a challenge this winter about finding like photographers' work that, inspires you and stuff like that, and and then, the next one, and then do more kind of shooting ones. But yeah, probably every month to 2 months. I don't want to overdo it, but I don't want to underdo it as well. And if anyone has any, interesting challenge ideas that they come across, or they think about, just, definitely send me emails, or send me, you can just send me a message through the site. That's a great way for me to see everything. Anybody have any other, Lisa?
Yeah. So one other question, in terms of like sort of the meet and greet, will there be like a once a month opportunity to kind of gather in this way as a group? And then I guess sort of a follow up to that, or like a question, and I don't know if this is of interest to anyone, so I just throwing it out there. Let's say like there were a gathering like this, would there ever be a time, and I don't know if this is possible, to have like, let's say, breakout rooms where like a few members, I guess, sort of within a group could kind of like have a conversation in a different form as opposed to posting comments, but like chatting maybe about work, like maybe if we knew in advance, let's say, who our people were, we could like choose, 1 or 2 pieces of theirs to ask questions about, or just like a more in-depth way to get to know the other members, and also to kind of give, I guess, maybe more not intensive critique, but just more detailed critique than what we would write like on the website.
Definitely like a meet and greet kind of. Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. I've been thinking about that. We should definitely do it. So I'll do some brainstorming, about, and then we can just kind of figure out a way to, set up for anyone who happens to be interested in doing stuff like that, into smaller group, more intimate groups. And, as the site grows and I add, and we add some more groups and stuff like that, the goal is to, maybe have speakers talk and different things like that as well, and kind of create, we're going to kind of, this whole aspect of things we're going to figure out as it goes along. But, I definitely love small groups to be able to get together in person. And when this pandemic is over, some maybe even real life kind of things for people who kind of live closer to, each other would be pretty cool as well. So yeah, I'll do some brainstorming. I'll send everyone when I get my thoughts around that, and then we'll take some ideas for what everyone thinks. So yeah, anybody else have any other
I just wanted to ask the dreamlight theme. So
Yeah.
that's good. How long is that really lasting for? You
So
said 2 or
that-
3 months?
So that I put that up a few weeks ago. I mean, I'd say let's do another like 2 weeks or so of that, couple weeks. Then
Oh,
what
I
I'm gonna do, and then what I'll do, maybe 2 or 3 weeks we can do. What I'll do is I'm gonna put up a post on the inspiration page, and then your set of 5 dreamlike photos you've taken. Everyone can put a comment with their photos underneath that. Or I'll figure out a way to do that so that we can have everyone just post and we can have it all in one place so everyone can kind of see the work in one place.
So I'll look for your messages.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
post them. I see them.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
memos.
Mhm.
Like, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, very welcome. Okay, so I mean, I think that's. I mean, if does anyone have any last minute thoughts or anything like that at all?
What role does the moderator of each group play? Or
So moderators, we're figuring that out, of course. Moderators are, they're, especially like, right now as this is small and this is kind of, we're going to keep this small and kind of, I'm going to grow the site slowly, but, right now I'm having a blast with all this and just, be able to be there, anytime anyone has a comment. But the moderators are there to, definitely answer questions, to encourage, discussion, things like that. And as, the site gets a little bigger too, definitely, if you have any questions, you can ask them as well, send them messages and things like that. Moderators are there to be kind of an extra set of eyes for me. Yeah, but as you see right now, it's I'm there all the time as well. So yeah. But yeah, you can just I mean I know so I don't know, Emily, if you want to introduce yourself to people. Emily is the moderator of which one, Kudelka or Levitt?
Levitt.
Levitt, okay.
And I think that we had the same question when James was like, would you like to be a moderator? And he said it really, you still get to be a member and you get to put your work out and you get to comment and everything. It's just kind of like when things get too crazy for him. If in our group something was coming up that needed, James' expert eye and opinion, I would just make sure he knew about it. So far, that's what we think it is. But, following up on Lisa's idea about getting into small groups, I'm thinking that if we could get into breakout rooms with just our Levitt, I don't even know how you pronounce our group, Levitt people?
Levitt, yeah, Levitt. Yeah.
And each small group could be in a breakout room and we could know that was going to happen and make ahead of time, make sure that we've looked to see what people have posted and kind of the things that we want to ask about and comment on. I think that's a great idea. And following up on somebody else's question about, I think this is what moderators do. We try to listen and pull together maybe what we're hearing. This idea about the challenges, when you're talking about putting together a post, it might be, I don't know if technically it could happen, but you might invite us, those of us who've been working on the challenge, to post 3 or 5 in some new album you create on the, challenge number 1, the dreamlike.
Yeah.
So that we can always get back to it and I'm seeing some great things people are coming up with that make me want to go do things differently. So.
Oh no, that's a great, yeah, that's definitely a great idea. Yeah. And Megan, if you want to introduce yourself to everybody. Megan is the moderator for Kudelka.
Hi, yep, I'm Megan. I'm up in Rochester, New York. And so I'm just moderating Kudelka. I haven't been on in a couple of days here. I've been busy with some work stuff, but like Emily said, we're here to be an extra set of eyes for James and support people and answer questions. I know a few people asked me how certain things work, and I did my best to answer, and we're all learning together. Yeah, so.
Yeah, Megan's, I'm excited to see you to share lots of your work, because she has a really great portfolio of work, and she's a great writer as well. So she was talking at some point, for those of you who are, interested, we'll get to this point at some point, but those who are interested in, doing more with writing with their work as well, that's always something we can explore as we go along. That's something I love as well. And I think there's a lot of creativity behind that. So yeah, she's a great person.
That's definitely a passion of mine, is combining the photography with some writing and some personal reflection, and learned a lot about myself through photography. So anyone who wants to work on something like that, I'm always up for talking about that type of thing, because what you shoot tells you a lot about what you're thinking about. So yeah,
definitely. And writing is, I mean, there's the whole thing that a picture is worth 1,000 words, but I think that's kind of, it's a very simplified statement sometimes, because writing about it, your work, I think really helps you focus. And I remember some of the projects I did, the early writing I did about, I look at it, I'm like, that's the stupidest thing I ever wrote. And now the stuff I write about it now, it's like, I feel much better. I'm sure I'll feel stupid about it in a year or two, but yeah, it's over time, it's gotten clearer, and it's helped my what I've been photographing get clearer as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's 8:50 now. Do people feel like introducing themselves, or are people tired? Anyone want to, kind of go through for a couple minutes and just say, your name and where you're from and kind of what you generally like to shoot? I can go around. So Robin, you want to start? I'll unmute you.
Sure, I'll make it quick. I'm Robin. I'm from Santa Monica, California. I used to travel a lot and shoot travel photography. Now I'm not. So I'm here at home in Santa Monica, and I'm trying to get out and shoot on the streets. And this is helping me get motivated to do that, because I'm feeling really trapped not being able to travel.
I think we're all feeling trapped right now. Yeah, it's good to be trapped together. John, yeah. Unmute you. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I'm out in Pittsburgh. I am too a travel photographer, but that's what kind of got me started. And so I like to do anything. Pittsburgh's a great city for walking around downtown. It's got a lot of neighborhoods to walk through, and one of my, I guess, things I like to shoot more is nature photography. So I'm a little bit leery of going up and snapping somebody's picture and thinking they might chase me away or something. But yeah, I really enjoy photography, so it's been a great thing for me.
Cool. Yeah, and no one's pushing you here to get punched on the street or anything like that. But it's definitely, if it's something you want to explore, we can definitely kind of push you to do that as well. Yeah. Yep. Debbie.
Hi, I'm living in Colorado. I just moved here within the year. So I'm sort of changing my learning, because I like to do nature and rivers and lakes and the Adirondack Mountains and all those things. And now I have the Rocky Mountains, which are massive and brown. And, but so I'm venturing out into landscape a little bit and trying to force myself to do a little. I really enjoy doing macro and close-up photography and nature and those sorts of things more. I did a wonderful workshop in New York City with a guy named James that I loved, but I've never lived anywhere since that's really conducive to that. First, it was a very small town where everybody already knew me and came up and said, "What are you doing?" And now I feel like I'm new and just don't feel comfortable quite yet in the city. But so anyway, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and hopefully you'll get more comfortable over time, being the crazy person with the camera.
Right.
There's a certain charm for that, if you play it the right way.
Well, and I think, yeah, they joke around here that if you're standing on a street corner, you're selling pot because it's legal, so that's the big joke. I don't know whether it's true or not, but
you could do both. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Maybe get a lot more people coming up to you. Yeah.
Yeah, don't put it in your suitcase and go on a plane.
Oh, no. And we got Larry. Yeah, meet you. Can't hear you, Larry. Nope, yeah, still can't hear you. Let me come back to you. Yeah. All right, we got Beverly. Hey, Beverly.
Hi, I'm Bev Devine. I live in Manhattan, New York. And I too met James on one of the tours downtown and got me started in street photography. And in New York, you can find anything on the streets, I find. And it's been fun. I've also started dabbling in micro. And I've enjoyed that too, doing a lot of flowers and leaves and things like that. So, and I'm enjoying this. Thank you.
No, happy to hear that. Yeah. All right. And we've got Nancy. Yep.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nancy Osted. I live in Southwest Utah, St. George. I moved out here 6 years ago, and that's when I picked up photography. I've always appreciated it and got a nice camera and have spent a lot of time in the last 5 years just touring the state and focusing on landscape photography. I met James a couple years ago when I took a street photography workshop with him, and really am intrigued with that kind of work now. I also like to, I think it was like Beverly just said, that I enjoy macro photography too. I'll go to Home Depot in the spring when the spring flowers are in with my camera and spend a couple of hours. So it's really appreciate Jim's that you set this up. I think it's great and it is very inspirational.
And don't forget to photograph the people in Home Depot as well.
I hadn't even thought about that. Thanks.
Yeah. Always a good place. All right. And we've got Rob. Hey, Rob.
Yeah, I'm Rob Ferguson and I'm in Richmond, Virginia. And fortunately, when it gets cold here, it's not all that bitter. So I get to get out. I'm always drawn to two things. One is old parts of town, particularly old rundown parts of town. And the other is I love to get in the car and drive and pick a town I've never been to and go and just photograph there. So I do that just about every Saturday morning and anywhere from a half hour to an hour and a half from home. So I've tried to figure out what categories my photos would fall in, and it's it's too numerous. So I guess I need to maybe focus a little on one or two styles and develop them more. That's about it.
Or focus on them each separately. Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to, stop shooting all the different types of things. Yeah. Cool. And we've got Rona. Hey, Rona.
Hi, I'm Rona, and I'm probably in the smallest town that anybody here is. It's very difficult to do street photography. Lafayette's probably, Greater Lafayette's 196,000 people. That doesn't include Purdue, which is about 46,000. So I often go to Purdue when I want to shoot people, which is a lot. Because I like to shoot, I've gone on this blur kick, and you need a lot of people. I like to shoot architecture as well. I'm still trying to find myself. I've been doing street for about 3.5 years, and nature probably for about 41. So when I get, like, just recently, yesterday, I was out driving around and shooting in the cornfields again and rundown barns. But it's like, okay, I've been there, done that. I really don't want to go back to it. So this is inspiring, and I'm shooting a lot of different ways. like this morning, I mean, today I went downtown for a couple of hours and came back with 917 images. I shoot bursts because I'm a wildlife photographer. So, you know, if I see something, I'm going to take 6 or 8 shots of it, if it's any good. So it sounds more impressive than it really is.
But yeah, editing is definitely the fun part.
Oh yeah, right. I've learned that. But I don't know. I'll post the best of that stuff because at least it'll show you kind of where I live.
Yeah, please do, definitely. And you guys have inspired me. I'll do a post one of these weeks with links to a lot of small town street photography, because there's a lot of fantastic and inspirational, content where it's kind of, I mean, it's, if you do it the right way, I know at first it seems much harder than New York. But it's, yeah, you do more portraits, you do different types of things, and you can really learn to do it in a way that's very comfortable and very interesting. Everyone's doing street photography in New York, but there's a lot of these small places where you're the only one doing it, and it really is an opportunity, even though it can feel very difficult at first. So I'll do a whole post on that.
Good.
And we have Wendy. Hey, Wendy.
Hi, I'm Wendy. I also like travel photography, but I live in Greenwich, Connecticut. And for those who don't know, that's a suburb of New York City. So I've done some street photography in New York, but I'm not getting into Manhattan these days with the pandemic. So I'm trying to figure out how to do street photography in a suburb, which is interesting because it's a different challenge than a small town. And a lot of people's yards and bushes. So,
yeah.
So it's a challenge and it's fun to try to figure it out.
Definitely. Yeah. It's I think it's one of those things that the more you do it, the more you figure it out. But at first it's like a completely different experience. Right. Yeah. Cool. And hey, Shelly.
Okay. I live in Columbia, Missouri, and we just moved to what I call a mini farm, which is 6.6 acres. So I'm not downtown very much here, even though we have a pretty nice, cool downtown. Columbia is smaller than Lafayette. It's like 120,000 maybe. I have been taking pictures for a long time. I used to do like all my kids' sporting events, try to get pictures of all the kids. I've done theater. But it really felt like I didn't know very much about what I was doing. And it's only been the last couple of years that I've had a chance to kind of figure it out a little more. But what I am enjoying about this, I like going out and going to places, and it might seem like there's nothing there to take a picture of, but I kind of like taking it all in and figuring out something to take a picture of. Like I really love going out for a walk and just like, what do I see that might make a really cool picture? And I don't know, that's just fun to me. So that's what this is inspiring me to do.
Yeah, happy to hear that. It's it's interesting. I mean, it's like when you I love photo books and looking through the work of other photographers, and it's amazing how many good photos you come across in that stuff where you're just like, that looks like a place where there would be nothing good to photograph whatsoever, and it's just the most amazing image. And it just, I mean, they come, but it's it could be frustrating walking around sometimes in those areas, like just being like, I don't see anything. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah. And hey, Wayne, just you got to unmute yourself first.
Hi, everyone. I'm Wayne Thornborough, and I kind of took up photography when I retired in 2004, and I felt I had to have something I'd be getting better at in retirement, and I feel that's happened in photography, but I've evolved through several things, and really the last 3 or 4 years, I've really been zeroing in on street photography or something related. I mean, sometimes that's travel related, sometimes it's location related, and we spend part of the year in Florida and part of the year in New Hampshire. A lot more nature shooting when I'm in Hampshire. That's amazing Hampshire, they have a huge motorcycle weekend. There are lots of events that go on, and I found shooting events with people gives something that's good. And over a period of time, you actually can build up quite a collection of things. It takes more than one event to do it, or more than one motorcycle weekend, or what have you. But you can build them up over time. So, in Florida, it's a similar thing. There are street painting fairs. There's Art Basel is one of my favorite spots. It's one of the great things of all time. And sadly, this year it's not taking place. But I've shot there 4 years in a row, and I've built up quite a collection of that. And that's probably the thing. If someone said, "What's the thing you've done the best?" It's probably that. So at least that's what I think. It's the thing I like the most. But I will shoot almost anything if I'm walking around. And I guess it's the broadest definition of street photography you'd make. But I'm anxious to find things that are interesting in funny places.
Yep. I mean, I think that is the definition of street photography, photographing anything, anywhere. Yeah. Yeah. And I know we all can't wait for events to come back for sure. Hey, Lisa. I got it. Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yep.
So I'm Lisa. I'm pretty new to photography, I would say. It's been like a quarantine-born hobby. And it was sort of really nice in the spring to take long walks to explore. I live in Manhattan, to explore different parts of the city. I feel like I'm in like an immersive learning phase where I'm trying to just sort of read a lot and look at kind of people's work online. I love taking photos, flowers and leaves, and also street photography. I like trying to capture candids, people who are kind of absorbed in what they're doing, or like an image that like communicates some kind of vulnerability, or some just something maybe about the human condition or some kind of tension. But like as Shelley said, I feel like sort of the most exciting piece is just taking really long walks and kind of figuring out, oh, I want to take this shot, or I want to take that shot. So I'm like so grateful for this community, and as people have said, for the inspiration and for the motivation. And yeah, it's been like such a blessing, photography, and it's been very sustaining during this time. So
That's great to hear. Yeah. And we've got, I'm not sure, it says owner under, I'm not sure what your, who's on the, who's the one with the name owner?
Who's the lady from the Bronx?
Oh yeah, hey, remind me, what's your name? Oh, sorry, can't hear you.
Oh,
Hello, is that Maliha?
no, it's Regina.
Oh, Regina, sorry, yeah, sorry.
I don't know that happened, but it happened. It's owner.
Yeah.
Don't know why. Well, I live in a small town in Connecticut, and as much as I like street photography, I don't venture much into that because I feel awkward. I feel too invasive, taking pictures of people I don't know. But I try, and most of the time I take pictures from their backs, and I don't like that. It's something that I want to practice. I want to try it, maybe feel more comfortable doing so. So mainly I take pictures of nature and people, but people I know. I love portraits, and that's it.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, you're not alone in feeling that way. I know there's a lot of people here who feel similar, and that's something I think we're all, work together to kind of get more comfortable with that type of stuff. But it's great, like, photographing portraits of people, but also, as I mentioned a little earlier, I think a great thing to do is to start with just portraits of people you don't know. Figuring out a way to get comfortable asking people, saying, oh, I'm a, photographer, I'm doing, a project, create a project of the area, portraits of people. I think you look amazing. It's a really great way to meet people. and get comfortable with kind of street photography, especially, you know, as you get more comfortable with the candid too, if you decide you want to do that. Yeah, I mean, we can, I think it's definitely something to, you know, to work towards, even though I know it's difficult to do. Yep. Okay. And then we have Vin. Hey, Vin.
Hi, sorry, it took me a second. So I'm falling asleep. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Vin's a kindred spirit with the two kids. Yeah.
I don't last long after 9 these days. So hi everyone. I'm Vin and I am in Brooklyn, New York. Actually not too far from where James is. I mean, as James mentioned, like my work before March was primarily everything outside my home. A lot of travel photography, mostly stage work here in Brooklyn and in Manhattan with children's theater and musical theater groups. That's not happening, of course. So the day that schools closed in New York City, I just started a daily count and have been photographing my life inside the walls of my home for the most part. I do go out, but I generally, every day I make it a point to photograph something going on in my house. It focuses, the photo diary kind of focuses on my kids. I really wanted a way to document this time so that we could go back to it later and say, okay, well, this is what we experienced. And it's hard to pick up the camera every day and shoot intimately. Like I'm now starting to realize how intimate of a project this is. And I haven't shown that much work from this body of work in the Salon yet, but I'm just trying to pick, you know, maybe 10 to 12 really good pictures. So yeah, photography has changed for me. March was kind of the point where instead of looking outward, I started looking inward, and it's really difficult because I'm finding very mundane things in my house, like part of the bookshelf that I've forgotten about that I don't even look at anymore, or yeah. So that I don't know if it's probably boring to everybody else, but to me, photography has become just a way to document intimately what's going on in my home, because we have been learning remote since March, and for the most part, we're a family of 4 and we are on top of each other every day, all day. You know, when's a good time for a Zoom meeting? It's like any time is a good time because every time is a really bad time, and trying to photograph those moments in between is proving to be more of a challenge than I thought it would. But yeah, that's sort of where I'm at right now. And I love the Salon. I love seeing such a wide range of work from such a diverse group of artists. And it makes me look at my own work differently.
Yeah, and I had a chance to look through like Vin's archive of what she's been doing. And she's, you know, not doing herself enough service. I mean, it's like with the amount of shooting, of course, there's like the mundane and the stuff, but there's like such incredible shots in there. So I can't wait for you to kind of, you know, I know it's, what's that?
I mean, there's some pretty ugly shots of my children as well, just having
yeah, which are good.
meltdowns.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're so used to it now. They've stopped just saying, you know, I'm crying and I'm pulling my hair out. Please don't take my photo. But yeah, so there's some ups and there's some downs, and I'm trying to capture all of it.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff. And it's I'm sure it's gonna, you know, they'll appreciate it one day in 25 years maybe. But yeah, it's definitely I mean, you may be in like, you know, one of the most unique shooting situations of anybody here, and I think you're doing like a really cool job with it. So yeah, it's great to see.
I think it's easier to get out there and photograph what you're not living with on a day-to-day basis, just from my experience.
Totally, yeah. And hey, Jennifer.
Hi.
Oh, sorry, I just muted you. Sorry, I gotta unmute you again. Okay, wait. Wait, Jennifer, you're muted.
Got it?
Go. Yeah, hey, Jennifer.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for having me in the group. Wow, I started taking pictures back when I was 16 years old. A friend of mine put a camera in my hand, and the rest is history. Lived in the Bronx my whole life, grew up native New Yorker, taking pictures of family, friends, anything that looked interesting. I like art, sculptures, paintings. So I like to take pictures of other people's art, whether it's in museums or at street festivals here in New York. Yeah, I'm excited about joining the club. I had an opportunity also to have my photos at an art gallery last year, September, the Art House over in Tribeca. So that was a digital art show. So that was really exciting for me. It was like, wow, after, okay, you guess my age. After 40 years of taking photographs, I finally had my work in a gallery. It was so exciting. And the group of people were great. So I got lucky with that. But yeah, I'm just glad to be here and, taking in everyone's, creative energies and so forth, and, getting to know everybody. And that's kind of a little bit about me.
Cool. Awesome. Well, it's really nice to see everyone in person and meet everyone. And so, thank you all. If anyone has any, thoughts going forward, just please, let me know. If, you think about what we talked about and you have any other ideas, just send me messages. But I can't wait to work with you all more and see what you are able to do, and definitely try to get out there in the cold. I'm going to keep doing the annoying inspiration thing. But yeah, so have a great evening, everybody. A lot of fun. Yes. Get some sleep.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Take care.
Everybody.
Good night.
Oh, good night. Larry, I forgot about you, but.
Well, that's all right. Don't worry, James.
Yeah, it's okay.
We just got the internet up here in Albany.
Okay.
I'm still kind of new to it.
Do you want to, Larry, introduce yourself real quick? You got it.
Yeah, hi, I'm Larry. I live in Albany. I'm working hard to do small town street, as James suggested. And Albany is a great place for it because there's nobody else doing it.
Yeah, that's a good thing about these areas. Yeah. Although if there's another street photographer, then it's like you gotta watch your back.
Actually, I have run into a guy on the street one time. I was taking a picture of a guy, and it turns out he had a camera. So.
Okay, that's hilarious.
Larry, I'm the one that was teasing you about Albany being upstate, if you remember.
Oh yeah.
Joking.
Yep. Yeah.
I was 4 hours north of Albany, which was really upstate. You guys can't really count upstate. I was at 6,000 people on the St. Lawrence River.
Oh yeah. But if you ask James,
city of Albany, for things.
Yeah. If you ask a New Yorker, Yonkers is upstate.
Oh, I know.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I lived there a year, and I always felt like I was giving geography lessons to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Didn't know there was out of the 5 boroughs. I mean, it was like, here is New York State, and here is this, and here is this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I grew up in New York State, and I didn't go to New York City till I was probably 32 or something, and people couldn't believe, what's it like to live in a big city? I said, I have no idea. Never been to one. And, but now I spend a lot of time in New York, so I shoot down there all the time. But when I shoot in New York, I'm kind of a tourist, not really a tourist because I go there so often. And I can, if James isn't available, I can give his tours now. I've done them enough times.
Oh yeah, he's that.
I know the route. But I really want. I like to look at photography. Like James, I have a big photography book collection. And I really like books from places that aren't big, because as James said, you're stunned at what people can actually do. And it's really amazing seeing somebody take good pictures in a small place.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, New York has, nothing better over any of these other places. It's just, it just takes a frame of mind. Yeah. And if you ask a New Yorker, can I drive to Yonkers? No. I see all these people doing these great American road trips, and that's I don't know if I have the ability to pull that off with my New York driving ability. So have a great night, everybody. Really great to see you all in person. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do.
Thank you.
Take care.